Hello everyone, this is Ashish Saini from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to my channel. In today's session, I will show you how to create a dynamic link other than the static link. Like till now what you have seen is in the last session also I was showing you that we were creating a static link. So static link simply means that if I am going to call this API, so it will work as per this API only. So if in case I will change a little bit in my API, it will definitely not work, or let's say if it will redirect me to some different API, right? So this is how it can work. But if in case I have to create a dynamic link, for example, let's take an example. If instead of writing this hello, if I will write, let's say Ashish, which is my name, so if in case I will write this, then it should work. But if in case it would be a dynamic link, it will be working. But if I am going to use a static link, then definitely it will work only if this API exists with the name Ashish, right? So this is how we can differentiate between the static link and the dynamic link. So now let's see how to create this dynamic link in your Flask application to further call it in whatever way we want to call it as per the web application we want to create, right? So for that, let's see how to do that part. So for that, let's go back to the program which we have created in the last session, right? So here you can see this was the application which we have created in the last session, and also we have seen how to route this page from one API to another API, right? So this is how we were just routing this part, right? So now what I want to do is I want to take that dynamic value from the user, and as per that dynamic value I want to call an API, right? So this is what exactly I want to do. So for that, let me show you how to do that part. So for that, let's just copy this, right, and just paste it here, and also change this name, let's say dynamic API, right? So as per that, I have to create this routing as well in the dynamic format. So for that, just write, and in here for now, let's say I want to write the name, whatever name I'm going to call in here, I should display a message as per that, right? So for that, whatever value you are specifying here, just copy and paste it here as the parameter for this particular function, right? So for that, let me just make a change in here and write, let's say hello, and I want to display my name at this position, right? And just because I'm using Python, so I know how to call my static value in this particular string. So for that, I'm having this format, so I can simply write the argument whichever I'm having, so I will be passing this, right? So this is how I can create a dynamic link, right? So now if I will run this part, and if I will call this particular API, so in here whatever value I will specify at this location, it should display it at this place, right? So this is how I can just do that part, right? So for that, just save this program and run this, and let's see whether it's working or not. So you can see it's running. Now let's run this API. Okay, so you can see hello world. So at hello, let's see what I am having. Okay, so this is the message which I can see as per this, but now I have to test for this part, right? So let's see, is it working or not? So for that, after putting a slash, you have to specify the value for this name, right? So just assign a name. Let's say I'm writing Ashish, let's say Ashish Saini completely, right? Now press enter. So you can see hello Ashish Saini, right? So this is how whatever value I will specify in here, it will just return me as a message like hello, whatever name you are specifying. Like right now I'm writing Ashish Saini, so it's saying Ashish Saini. So if in case I will change it with innovate yourself, then it will display me that part, right? So it says innovate yourself, so spelling got wrong, right? So this is how what I can do. I can create a dynamic link, right? So whatever value now you will get in here, right, as per that you will be able to see the output, right? So this is all about creating a dynamic link. And also you have seen that here I was passing a value, right, and that value is like I am putting a string value in here. So as per that, it is just taking a string value. But in current scenario, what I am doing is whatever value I will pass, it will just return me that part, right? So it's not like that I only have to specify the name, and to create it in such a way that it only accepts the data that I am going to specify. Let's say I want to take the name only, right? So in that case, what I can do, I have to change a little bit, right? And what changes I have to make, let me just tell you that part, right? So for that, just after this variable name, or let's say just before this argument, right? So what you have to do, you have to specify the type of it, right? Let's say I want to take the string, so just type str column and put a name. And let's say if I want to take some value as, let's say, integer number, float number, so in that case you can write int or you can write float. So whatever data type you will specify, as per that it will just accept the value from you, right? So this is how we can just use this part, and accordingly it will accept the values from you. Let's say right now I want to accept the float value, so just save it and it will automatically keep the changes, and run it again. Just type, let's say, 8.8. so you can see it is accepting this value, right? Similarly, if I will change it to integer, now save it again, it will again accept the changes, again run it, right? So this is how we can do this part. Similarly, if I will write the string value, right, so it will just take the string values, right? Let's say, right? Okay, so I got an error. So I got an error. So here you can see it is not accepting this str, just because str is accepted by the Python, right, but not by the HTML. So instead of writing this str, I have to write the complete value as string, right? Now save it and run it, just because it has terminated the program, right? Now run it again, right? So you can see it's running now. Now if you will pass this value, you can see it will show you Ashish, right? Similarly, if I will put some different value, let's say I want to put the integer number, let's see. Okay, so you can see in the case of this part, it is accepting this number, just because you know that string consider all the values, right? String consider every value, whether it is integer, whether it is float or anything, just because it can convert that value into the string value, and after that it can use it. So that is the reason it is accepting this part. But if in case I will be using it as the integer type or the string type, so at that time, let's see, will it work for everything? So right now you can see I am putting this value as integer, so that's why it is accepting integer value. But if in case I will change this value to something else, let's say the float value, so you can see it will not accept this part, just because integers cannot accept the float value. Similarly, if I will change it to float, right, save it and again run this, now you will see it will work. But if in case now I will change this value to the integer value, it won't work, just because the float won't accept the integer values, right? So this is how you can see how we can pass the dynamic value to your API, and accordingly we can call it as per the function which we want to do, right? So this is all about that part, right? So that is it from my side. So if in case you are facing any kind of a difficulties in any of the topic, then you can definitely leave a comment below in the comment section. And if you have liked this video, then do click on the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then do click on the subscribe button, so that you do not miss any kind of a videos from my side. Till then, bye bye and happy learning.